is to have a conversation with the man who's able to deliver him from the closet. Many of us, we never come out of this state of depression. But right here, Proverbs says, I got a happy word for those who are depressed and need encouragement. He says it right here in the Amplified Version, verse 22. A happy heart is good medicine. And listen, the second clause. The second clause is what got me. And a cheerful mind works healing. But a broken spirit dries up the bones. Now, brothers and sisters, that's food for thought. I am not saying that people who are depressed are all possessed by the devil, but what I am saying is that depression is the result of an evil spirit oppressing us. And sometimes a whole lot of us don't want to feel as if though it's an evil spirit, but it is. It's an evil spirit sent directly from Satan to oppress you and keep you in the pond in which you are not living in. The devil does not want you to flow in clean water. That's why you always stay stagnant in dirty water, because as long as the devil has you in a depressed environment, he wins. He gets the victory. He gets the glory. But that's not what God has designed for you to be. It starts with your mind. And the more you keep your mind strong, the more you keep your mind stayed on God, then he will keep them in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee. Your heart has to be happy. Like medicine. Now, you are trying to say, well, brother pastor, how in the name of heaven can my heart be happy? Like medicine, when all the medicine I take is not really good. And it really doesn't make me smile. And, you know, sometimes it makes me cry before I can even get a smile out. But let me tell you something. The more you take what God has for you, the more you rejoice in what God has for you in spiritual nutrition and in medication, that is how your heart is made glad. You see, a lot of people can't understand why other folk, every time you see them, they're always smiling and they're always having a good time, and they're able to shake your hand and wink and blink at you and say hello to you from the other side of the church, because they took their Sunday morning, their Wednesday night medication, and God has worked on them. And so now it comes directly from their heart, because they took that medication and now they're better than they were when they came to church. And when you take your medication, brothers and sisters, regardless of where men and women may see you outside of the church, your heart ought to remain the same. Can't be phony with God. God does not like fickle, phony individuals who are two-faced with him. You have to be serious with God, brothers and sisters, and your heart is a reflection of God's love. Some keys, brothers and sisters, to helping all of us get over this epidemic called depression.
That's right.
Have you ever looked in the face of a person who's depressed? They are some of the worst individuals you ever want to see or hang out with. Just depressed. No smile. No pleasantry about themselves. Everything about them is just nasty. You look at them, you know, their lip is down in their chin. You know, just nothing. They can be the most beautiful person on the outside, won't put no makeup on, don't even want to fix themselves up. Now, I'm talking about folk you know got some stuff. But because they going through a little bit of something, they don't think God can bring them out, then they just get depressed and forget about all the blessings in the closet that God has bestowed upon them. Let me tell you something, that's evident for you to come out of what you got going on, because when you look behind you and you see everything God has blessed you with, why should you have to get ugly for the devil when all you got to do is open up the closet and see what God has already done? You got to to have it in your heart, brothers and sisters. Heart is good medicine, and a cheerful mind works healing. Listen to him now. But a broken spirit dries up the bones. Church, if nothing else gets deeper about handling depression, this is what you sink to.
All right.
But a broken spirit dries up the bones. Have you ever had your spirit at a point of being broken?
All right.
It's as almost when you are really, really hurt and you are depressed and you really don't know exactly where to go and to whom to talk to. Someone can just walk right up to you and just break you off. You know why? Because you're weak. You have not gone back to the right resources. Your spirit is broken and you don't know where to go to get a filler. That's what happens. And when you get sad and when you get pitiful like that, you become very vulnerable to the devil because your bones have become brittle. And every time the devil sees where he can break off a piece of your bones, he will. Because the more your spirit is broken and you are depressed, you will depress others by bringing your broken dead spirit into the church. And when you bring a broken dead spirit into the church, then the church becomes depressed and can't nobody get a praise out because your dry bones are in the house. Depression will do that. Don't bring your dead, distorted self here and then bring down the spirit of the church. That means you have something that's going on with you that you need to converse with God about in order to get straightened out in your life. I'm not saying that people who are depressed are all possessed by the devil, but what I am saying is that the depression is the result of an enemy with an evil spirit oppressing. It oppresses us. And sometimes when this enemy oppresses us, we do not have enough strength because we used up all of our ammunition on each other. And so when the enemy comes to oppress us, we cannot go out and show some strength because we have used up all of our ammunition and our strength on each other. Instead of helping each other, we tear down each other. Instead of helping each other, we cuss out each other. Instead of us loving each other, we hate one another. And this is how the enemy keeps on winning victory after victory by oppressing us because he knows we don't care about each other. A depressed person is gloomy, full of negativity. This person is very unpleasant to be around. Always angry. Always got something nasty to say. I don't care, the sun can be out. You can be blessing other folk handing out $100 bills. But if you get to that row and that person is depressed, you just done ran into a bear on church ground. Ain't nothing you say, ain't nothing you gonna do to bring them out of that state of depression. Because what I learned about folk who go through states of depression is they gotta want to come out of it for themselves. A whole lot of individuals love to stay in that state because they know that's when they can attract the most company. And it all boils down to attention. Attention, attention, attention. Now, there are others, and this is part 2 of my point, there are others who act like they're depressed, but they just doing it for fun. You see them, you pass them. 99th Street, Dan Ryan, you see them. Can you help me? I'm homeless. Yes, sir. And then go around the corner and got a car bigger than yours. You know I'm telling the truth. Chuck Gowdy did a report about this about 2 years ago.